garden update. I've got a little tomato seedling in there, which I think is a granny's throwing, and that's on top of some Osmocote potting mix, which is on top of some steam treated composted rooster booster. Oh, the rooster booster is steam treated composted poultry linings, you know. Cantaloupes are going well. This one's taking off, and this one's taking off even more, so this one here is nearly doubled in size. That one's increased by half, and this one's managed to save one of its leaves. This leaf here was dying. This leaf did die, but yeah, they're doing quite nicely. So this mix has had some ants try and move in. I've had to spray them with some kind of cheap spray that we got that's plant-based, so not terrible. This piece up here on this planter is being rehabilitated. It's mostly sand and bits of clay and bark and leaf litter. So let's go into the greenhouse. I have to cut down my thing here, so I kicked the door frame. So I've got that poly tunnel and some weed mat. A couple of bags that are like fallow. We're going to put an elderberry tree in one of these bags just to get it using. Unfortunately, the greenhouse, I wasn't opening it up often enough. I've got a big cluster of mould in there, probably grey mould, also called botrytis. And so we have sugarcane mulch, the air intake, no, outlet, sorry, it takes in air from under the house, and a couple of bags. So there's not enough airflow to prevent mould coming through that, which I kind of suspected. So I'm going to get a new project going, and when it's done I'll show you. If it's not done, then you'll wonder what the hell happened, and anyone who bothers to comment will say, well, what happened to that project you were going to do, KW? So yeah, we've got some of this. This stuff's really cheap and rather barky. I've got a few seedling trays going. I don't have any shelves yet. I do have some scrap shelves that I will put on stands and use to get these guys up off the ground. So you can see that real barky stuff with lots of bark on it. That's got some broad bean seeds in it that are a year old. I don't know if they're going to germinate. Everything else is a mix of tomatoes, which are granny throwings, and that's one that's come up, I think. But there's also Slim Jim eggplants in there, or heirloom varieties apparently. And this is also granny throwing. We've lost a few seedlings. I think they've been left in too long. And also some other Slim Jim eggplants as well. These are waiting to be sown. So after some of the other seeds get going, we'll put some thing in there. I think that might be a corn, just as an experiment. And other tomatoes. These, we do have some coming up. Yeah, cool. Didn't notice these before, but I'm not sure if it's going to focus. Can I make it focus? No. Alright, so they've got some seeds coming up in these pots. That's great. That's great. I was losing confidence a bit. A couple of empty pots from dead seedlings, from tomatoes, which, quite frankly, I didn't sow those. I'm not a big fan of the cherry variety. I think they're a bit of waste of space. And over here we have another seed, yay, which is a mortgage lifter, yay. So I'm really interested to see how well they grow. That's a Radiator Charlie mortgage lifter from Digger's Seeds. And yeah, we've also got more Slim Jim eggplants down these rows, and I think got some capsicums and some other stuff in there. So in the bed I have transplanted a granny's throwing, which is about just pushing 3 inches, so it's got its 4th set of leaves. So I've put it in, and what is probably another granny's throwing is also in there, and that one has 3 sets of leaves as well. I don't know how, but they were getting root bound in their little pots, and this is some optimistic staking. So it's about 1.20 m, and that's this apparently legal Indonesian hardwood, which has got a real interesting spicy smell. So that's my stakes in here. I have 2 other stakes left, which will be for the other side when that gets planted out. So there's the greenhouse update. We've got a little bit of food coming along. Not much yet, but you know, you've got to start someplace, and this is the start of my journey to do something like Arthur Love for Life and Babylon Decoded and a few other people in the terms of creating some self-sufficiency of food that just disconnects you from some things that if you'd rather not be connected to, that's the first step. So check them out. Very challenging stuff. I don't agree with it 100%, but the sentiments I do agree with. And, some other ideas, I think I've talked about it before, that's why I screwed this bracket on. I'm going to run dripper systems for another series of planters. One thing I'm going to have to do is stop using the greenhouse as a shed. It's very space challenged, and and that's why I'm putting stuff in here. Little purchase that I got, which is very useful. It's one of these pressure bottles. Excellent for the foliar feeding. This is a 1 litre one. It was about $7 from a hardware store. I think we got that from a trip to Masters, which we won't go to again because it's too far. So we'll just get them from the closest ones, which are less than 2 k's away. Got one of these ones, Bunnings Warehouse, which is owned by West Farmers, which is Coles. And well, I hope you're well, and if you're not, you've got a remedy available to you. And yeah, drop me a few lines. Any advice? Should I plant more? Should I have more seeds on the run? How should I stagger them? What's a good mix? Any way to control creatures out of coir or coir, or however you want to say it. That's right, because I don't know if I can show you this. Yeah, there they are. These little black dudes. Little mighty things. No, it won't focus. Got quite a few of those, unfortunately. I think they're in the bed. And there's a few spider mite-like things in there. I don't know if they're actual spider mites in the sense of the things that suck plant juices, because there's nothing on this tomato which has been in there for about 4 days. So I'm not super concerned. However, I can probably just cover that up a little bit more. There you go. There you go. And we might get some neem oil. I think I'll get it anyway. And do a pre-treat. Oh, if anyone knows where in Australia you can get, particularly in the southeast, like in Melbourne, you can get what's called Neem-Coir, which is neem cake mixed with coconut coir. You know, the husk, which has been turned in. This is the soil expanding stuff. That'd be awesome, because I think I'll do that for my next planters, because it's got the neem oil in it already to help control the pests. Let me know. Alright then. There'll be an update later when I've got some more information.